Join me today as we take a look at Level Earth Observer and see what madness he's coming up with lately. Hi, I'm LimeyPlay, and we're going to jump straight into it today because we've got a lot to cover.
This is the Verrazzano Bridge, and apparently it proves curvature.
That's absolutely right. It does prove curvature because the bridge was built with adjustments to account for Earth's curvature, so that the tops of the bridge are 41.275 millimeters, or 1 inch and 5/8 further apart than they are at the bottom.
Listen to this nonsense.
They're not going to. They don't accept the accuracy of things like the Verrazzano Bridge, the towers, which are perpendicular but actually are further apart at the top than the bottom. They don't accept that. So
old Captain Sensible here is claiming the towers on the Verrazzano Bridge are not true all the way out. They're slightly out of plumb, leaning away from each other.
He's claiming no such thing. They are plumb with the Earth, but because of the distance, being plumb with the Earth makes them bend out slightly from the centre of the bridge. So that's, it's this lack of 3D thinking that I think gives a lot of you flat earthers trouble.
Claiming that's a result of Earth curvature.
Because it is.
Now, no one doubts that may be the case.
If you don't doubt that that may be the case, then why do you not believe it?
Because in engineering, especially when you've got something that has to take a load, it makes a lot more sense that it leans away from the direction it's taken to the load.
This is inherently false. They're built firmly attached to the ground and straight at their respective points, because that is what is going to give it the best structure. And then it's all about the internals and the dimensions, the steel going through them, and how thick the concrete is, etc., that is going to give them their strength. It should also be noted that with the suspension bridge, all the cables are taking strain as well, and you've got the ones on the far ends that anchor it firmly to other points as well that also take the load,
i.e. to counteract the weight it's about to take. And here's a prime example.
Not the crane again.
We've got a tower crane. We can see the tower comes up near enough straight, but when we get above the cab, we can see it reduces and comes back.
This is a straight up structure that is supporting everything on top. Now, because it has the crane coming out to the side, and that is going to take different weights, then they will adjust the structure accordingly. You cannot compare a single structure to a massive bridge and how that would be built. That's just a ridiculous argument, Leo.
In an area known as the cat head or the A-frame, proving my point.
It actually doesn't, because you are choosing to compare a massive bridge to a crane. Just how can you think this makes sense?
Now, is this crane leaning back at the top because of the Earth's curve?
No, because where you're looking at it from is relatively close, and it is in line with the Earth. So no, it's not leaning right there because of Earth curve, because you are straight with the Earth. If you went far enough away and looked at it, it would probably be leaning back a bit. You could probably look at it actually with that bar, which should be, if you're perfectly lined up with it, I imagine that crossbar should be perfectly straight. However, if you went far enough away, I imagine that you would see the ends of the bar at different heights because of Earth curve.
No, it's back there like that to take into account for the load, the weight it has to take.
Which is completely different to the suspension bridge. The way that works is the load is shared between the main pillars in the middle, the large anchor points at the end, and all of the cables. In respect to, when you're at each one, they're perfectly straight, and you can check them with a level. However, they are further apart at the top because of Earth curve, but they're going to appear level when you're at each one, because that's how a globe works.
One being the jib itself, and two being the load it picks up. Cranes either account for that, either in the A-frame or in the counterweights itself at the back?
So they either account for it in the frame or in the counterweights. So like how the suspension bridge accounts for it in the straight to the earth pillars and the large anchor points.
Just like a bridge?
No, nothing like a bridge.
So I'm afraid, Captain Sensible, your Verrazzano bridge is not built the way it's built because of curvature.
Did you build the bridge? Have you looked at the schematics? Have you researched the bridge or anything at all? Or are you just giving your non-expert opinion like you do with most stuff?
It's built that way so it can take the load. Dear, oh dear.
They're not going to. They don't accept the accuracy of things like the Verrazzano bridge, the towers, which are perpendicular but actually are further apart at the top than the bottom.
No, we refuse the dull, ridiculous, deluded claims that that's down to curvature.
You can refuse it all you want to, mate. If you look into the schematics of the bridge and you look at all of the details, you will find that it was built that way to account for curvature.
There's no demonstrable science in the world to prove that.
Yes, there is.
And I've just shown you
No, you haven't.
real-world examples that make an absolute mockery of why you think that's happened.
No, the only thing you're making a mockery of is yourself.
Captain Sensible, it's like that to take the load of the weight. In the bridge's case, it will be the road and the cars travelling across it.
And here is where another problem arises with your argument. Because traffic differs at different times of the day, they cannot be 100% sure of the load of the cars at any given time. And cars weigh quite a bit. Now, because of that, the safest way to build a stable bridge is to have it plumb with the earth and account for the weight with its anchor points and the cables. Not build it at an angle to try and adjust for weight.
It takes the load better, my dear boy.
It does take the load better because it is plumb with the earth. And that's how it needs to be built.
Oh dear, this clown thinks somehow bridges are designed to take into account the curve, yet the water beneath the bridge shows no curvature whatsoever.
Because the earth is massive. You know, you're looking at feet, a few feet. How are you going to, with your eye, notice a curve over, what is thousands and thousands of feet?
And the reason he's saying this, he's making excuses because he doesn't want to get involved in Force the Line.
It's not because of that at all. He's trying to explain it to people. Sadly, all your Force the Line is going to be is a monumental waste of money. But speaking as a glober and someone that has proven the globe, I would love to see you guys do it. Because after that, well, let's face it, you're going to deny it when it comes back wrong for you. But I'd love to see what your argument would be after. So please do Force the Line.
Which is a mechanical measurement proving scientifically the globe is nonsense.
No, it's a scientific mechanical experiment that you guys think is going to prove that the earth is flat. But sadly, you're going to be quite mistaken. As long as you guys build it correctly. I understand that you're going to build, everything level with the earth and try to have the top bits level and then have the rest mechanically straight connected. If you do that properly, then yes, eventually they're going to meet up or get a lot closer together. It actually shouldn't take you very far before you find out that the distances become smaller and destroy your belief.
Doesn't want to get involved in that. Claims that there could be options for fraud with the PayPal or the account set up for funds. Admittedly, the top band of 100,000 needs to be reduced. You don't need that. That gives people like this character here ammunition.
And yes, it does seem, I think, an extreme amount of money. You could probably do it for a lot less, and you probably wouldn't have to make it as long as you guys are, or whatever that bloke is that's planning it. But yeah, of course, he's going to be worried for fraud. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a lot of money. Well, I wouldn't donate to this because it's a waste of money. But yeah, I would find it hard to not have at least a little bit of doubt, when it comes to that much money, that hopefully receipts will all be presented, because I don't think, like you, that is one thing we can agree on, Leo, that amount, that cap definitely needs to be reduced.
But his whole point is he refuses to do the test because we don't we don't trust or believe his claims that bridges take into account the curve. Not having a fucking clue that they're built that way to take into account the weight, not curve.
That's your opinion, which just happens to be wrong. There's not much more I can say. I mean, this goes on for a bit more, but we're going to go to the next video now.
So with the globe representatives online running scared from this forced line, or any real-world scientific measurement of our Earth,
I don't see any of us running scared. I mean, we don't really need to, we're not going to engage in it much. We'll be happy to discuss it after you've done the experiment and completely, debunked yourselves. Or, well, we have shown you many, many ways that the globe is proven and is reality. And the false line is a massive waste of money. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put my money into something that's just going to be a waste. I mean, it seems ridiculous. But as far as, people like myself and this sensible Simon Dan, none of us will run scared from this. There's no point discussing it until you've done it. And then, well, we'll try not to gloat too hard.
Even the most hardened of globe believers now have got to be questioning and doubting the globe. And of course, the people who represent the globe online.
Not at all. All we're doubting is your rationale, or rationality. I don't know. It's still early and I need more coffee. We know it's a globe. We know space is real. We know we have satellites up there. We know we can watch live video of the globe, as it's going. We can calculate the curve of the Earth ourselves. Oh God, I don't know. There's so many different ways that we can prove this to you, but you don't believe it. So you guys have tried to come up with something that, to be fair, is a very big undertaking, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And I think that's the point behind it, because if it did happen, you debunk yourselves. I think it's, going to be, we were willing to do something to test it. Sadly, we couldn't get there. If it does, you've got Flat Earth Millionaire. I mean, he could probably get it done himself. Or he could book a cruise that circumnavigates Antarctica. He's got the resources to be able to do quite a lot. I'm sure, there are several of you guys that have the resources. There's several globers that have the resources. But we're not going to waste our money on it because we've proven it already. The tests that you guys do are either you're misunderstanding them to lie to yourselves, or it's the bigger guys that are setting them up to lie to all of you. And that is disgusting.
Supposedly men and women of science, but strangely enough, given the opportunity to do real science, a real measurement of the Earth, none of them want to get involved.
So I'm not exactly sure, what you're saying by not getting involved. I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of this past week. I'd imagine that it's probably like maybe you guys are wanting globers to throw some money in the pot to help get it done. Maybe if that's the case, we're not going to get involved because we know it's nonsense. We know how to prove the globe to ourselves through mathematics and observations and science that has already been proven. why would we waste our time and money, resources with this? It's you guys that want to try and prove it. Sadly, you're going to disprove yourselves, and I am willing to bet money on it that if you do it correctly, you know, it won't take you long to realise how wrong you are.
Quite revealing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it reveals just how, what's one of the words you like to use? Nonsensical you are.
And here's going to be a prime example. The top boy, with what's he got? 427,000 subscribers. We're going to give him the opportunity, and he's going to prove the point. He's going to scientifically destroy, and this is the only true science that's coming from his channel, indirectly.
I'm sure this is going to be you misunderstanding something, but if you think that no science has come from Simon Dan's channel, that just shows your ignorance. Time and time again, he has demonstrated scientifically and with real calculations that were derived from much experimentation how we live on a globe, or to debunk many of your fantastical claims. Now, just because you choose not to believe it doesn't make it so.
Simon Dan is going to destroy the globe by not wanting to be involved in real science.
Roughly translated, Simon Dan is going to save himself time and money by not wanting to be involved in your ridiculous plan.
He's got the science in his title, but he's going to shirk this real world scientific measurement of the earth because he knows the results will destroy the things he stands by.
No, again, he knows that it would be a waste of money. It's either not going to happen, or it's going to happen and it's going to debunk yourselves. It's not that we're scared of what you call real world science. We know reality.
And we're going to prove it. And Simon Dan is, with his actions, a real man of real science who stood by and truly believed in the globe, would jump at this chance to put this to bed and do a real scientific measurement of the earth.
No, because he is a real man of science. Like the rest of us, we know it's a globe already. We can prove it. It's just because you guys don't want to believe it. And so now you think that we should back this ridiculous idea? I'm pretty sure that there's enough flat earthers that if every single one of you donated a dollar or a pound or whatever currency this is in, I think it's in dollars, we're not going to waste our money because we know the shape of the earth.
So I posed a question to the globe's top boy earlier. Bear with me. Are you up for a mechanical measurement of the earth, Dan? Here's your chance to become a global legend, one who will be remembered for a long time. What's it going to be, Dan? Force the line or force the pantomime?
Again, I really hate that you use the word pantomime. It just bogs me, because a pantomime is either something like being theatrically acted out on stage with music, or it is, someone using overly large mimes to demonstrate something, which, the globe doesn't do. It uses reality, mathematics, and science.
Dan comes back. Please don't tell me you're talking about force the line, and lots of laughing faces.
Seems like a very fair response.
And that is a prime example. Rather than be true and honest and truly believe in the globe and want to get involved in real world demonstrable science, i.e. a scientific measurement of the earth, clearly he doesn't want to.
No, again, because we know the shape of the earth. We've proven it. I don't know how many times we've got to tell you, or how many times we've got to show you. But no, we're not going to get involved with it because it is ludicrous. We will get involved at the end, to, gloat a bit, but we'll console you as well when your entire belief is shattered.
And bearing in mind, if he got involved in this and got all his followers behind this and pushed for this, and of course it turned out the earth was a sphere, this man would become a legend who would be known throughout history.
No, he probably really wouldn't. It might get known locally and it will have a bit of flare up online. But we know the shape of the Earth. I don't know how. It's just looking at it from the Flerf point of view, isn't it? Like you think that we need to prove the globe. We don't. It's been proven. And we have proved it. Over here, anyone that goes to school has proved it by the time they're 11. And by the time they're 13, they have learnt a few different ways to prove it. Yeah, you're not going to get any backing or money from the Globe side, because we know it is just a fucking waste of money. But yeah, we'll be there. Oh, we will definitely be there if you guys get it done.
But he doesn't want to get involved in that. He doesn't want to do real world science. It's because he knows the results of this test will destroy the things he stands by.
No. Again, just like a flat earther, you twist things to suit your narrative. You want to make people, think that globers are scared. No, we're just not stupid.
Because it's obvious. The globe's scientifically impossible anyway.
Really? Explain how it's scientifically impossible when it is reality, but it works perfectly with everything we see. It works perfectly with gravity. It works perfectly with the atmosphere and with space and with earthquakes and just like everything. Star patterns, where the sun rises, eclipses, everything. It works perfectly with it because we have spent centuries still studying it. It wasn't a belief that was arrived at way, way back when, what was it, 2,500 years ago. And then, that was it. It was still scientifically studied for a long time until it was a definite fact. You are ridiculous, Leo. Just fucking ridiculous.
But here, the top boy is telling you, rather than get involved in real-world demonstrable science, he just wants to laugh at it. Instead, he'll defend CGI, airfix models, hairspray fetishes, and toy model space stations.
No, we defend reality. We can actually watch the ISS as it passes in front of the moon, which gives us a bloody great view of it. Just because you think it looks like an airfix model doesn't make it so. We stand behind everything that is provenly true. There are pictures from space of Earth taken with real film cameras from before CGI. Explain those. When you look at like the Himawari 8, is doing live footage of the Earth. The ISS has live footage. It is proven, and there's pictures that can prove it on Earth as well. We've got our white swan.
So here's my last comment to you, Dan. Are you scared of the results, Dan? The globe is impossible, and you know it. That's why you'll run away from a real measurement of the Earth.
No, we're running away. We're not even running away. We're walking away because it's a waste of money. It's basically it. Waste of money. We wouldn't throw a thing into it. But yeah, we will be there if you guys get it done. Definitely.
Prove me wrong by getting on board with this real scientific measurement of Earth. What's it going to be, Dan? Force the line? Or force the pantomime?
Again, force the line or force the pantomime. You guys are the ones that want to try and prove flat Earth. We're not going to, because we know it's a globe. We've proven it's a globe. It's not just us pretending or, that's our perspective. It is demonstrable. Demonstrable reality. Oh God, that was yeah. It is easy to prove. You guys can even prove it yourself. The calculations aren't hard. Just stop lying to yourselves and to everyone else.
We all know what it's going to be. Nothing but pantomime. Excuses, excuses, excuses.
So, it looks like Leo, and I'm sure others will jump on board, are going to say that we're scared of the experiment if we don't, help it come to fruition. Just the way that you guys twist everything to try and suit your narrative is just pathetic. We're not gonna get involved because it's just it's wasting people's money. We know it's gonna fail because we've proven it. There's so many different ways to prove the globe, and they've all been done. But you guys don't want to believe it, and you won't want to believe this either.
Dan's behaviour and responses are going to expose the globe and the faulty ground and logic that Dan stands by.
Nope, that's because you are going to take it out of context or cherry pick or do what flat earthers do. It just, to try and back up their claim.
He clearly has no faith in the globe.
No, he's clearly got all the faith in the world, because if he didn't have faith in the globe, he might want to throw a little bit of money in to test it. But because he knows it's a globe and he can prove it as well, just like any one of us rational people, we can scientifically prove it and have done, he's not going to waste his money.
Because otherwise he'd jump at the chance for real world demonstrable science to put an end to this. The fact he's not proves without a shadow of a doubt he knows the globe's not true.
Like, you've got to realise how full of shit you're being, Leo. And it just, that irks me, the dishonesty that is coming out of you right now. Well, I've had enough now. Time for me to get a second cup of coffee in me. Thank you all ever so much for joining me. It's been so fun doing this channel, and I can't wait to see what else we end up doing. Thank you for giving me a reason to make videos. I really appreciate it. You guys are a big part of what has got me through this lockdown and helped me very much with my mental health. So yeah, I will forever be in your debt for that. Please do like and leave a comment, subscribe and ring the notification bell if you haven't already. If you do want to donate to the channel, there are links to Patreon and PayPal in the description. Please do join my Discord server, which is linked in the description. It's where I'm normally interacting with subscribers and other content creators. As always, I have been LimeyPlay. Take care of each other and stay safe.